Hello. Welcome to TOPHER'S Stories, where stories comes alive. Please subscribe and share with friends. Now, relax and enjoy the story. The sun was setting over the dusty streets of Makola, a busy neighborhood in Accra. Inside a tiny one-room shack, a young girl sat on the floor beside a weak, coughing woman lying on a thin mattress. The girl was only 10 years old, but her eyes held something far beyond her age. Her name was Bella Grace. "Mama, please drink some water," Bella said, holding a cracked plastic cup to her mother's lips. Her mother, Clara Grace, gave her a weak smile. "You're a good girl, Bella, but you must learn to take care of yourself now. This world is not kind to kind people." Bella shook her head, her eyes filling with tears. "No, Mama, don't talk like that. You'll get better. We'll go to the hospital." Clara coughed again, a deep, painful sound that echoed through the room. "There's no money, Bella. Just promise me something." "What?" "Promise me you won't end up like me. Poor, tired, waiting for help that never comes. Use your smile, your beauty. Use anything you have to survive." Bella looked at her mother's worn-out face. The woman who had once been the most beautiful in their village now looked like a shadow of herself. Her eyes were hollow, her bones sharp against her skin. And yet, she still smiled. That was the last smile Bella ever saw from her mother. Clara took her final breath that night, while Bella sat beside her, too numb to cry. 3 days later, they buried Clara in a mass grave. There was no coffin, no proper ceremony, just a body wrapped in white cloth. Bella stood quietly, holding her own hands, watching the burial workers cover her mother with sand. Nobody else came. Not family, not friends, no one. That evening, Bella sat alone in the corner of the shack, staring at a cracked mirror. She looked at herself closely. She was beautiful. Even at 10, she had the kind of beauty that made people stare. Her skin was smooth and caramel-toned, her eyes sharp and light brown, her lips full. But her beauty meant nothing in a world that only valued power and money. That's when she smiled. It was small, controlled, and cold. "I'll never be weak like Mama," she whispered to herself. "I'll never beg. I'll never wait for help. I'll use what I have, and I'll win." And so, her smile became a weapon, not for love, not for joy, but for survival. 5 years passed. Bella was now 15. She had bounced from one home to another, foster homes, relatives, even the streets, until she met Rachel Adams. Rachel was everything Bella was not: soft, generous, trusting. She lived with her parents in a middle-class house and had a future already planned. The girls met at a school event, and Rachel, moved by Bella's sad story, begged her parents to let Bella stay with them. "She has no one, Mom," Rachel pleaded one evening. "Please let her stay. She's not like the others." Her mother hesitated, but her father eventually agreed, and so Bella moved in. For months, Bella acted like the perfect friend. She helped Rachel with chores, cooked for the family, and even started calling Rachel's parents Annie and Uncle. She wore borrowed clothes and studied hard. But inside, envy was growing like a fire in Bella's chest. Why does she get everything so easily? Why does everyone love her so effortlessly? Why does she have a family, a home, and a fiancé, while I had to bury my mother alone? Rachel never noticed the change in Bella. She thought she had a sister, a best friend. "Bella," Rachel smiled one afternoon, showing her a ring. "Josh proposed. Can you believe it?" Bella's eyes widened as she looked at the expensive ring on Rachel's finger. "Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations." But her smile didn't reach her eyes. Josh was tall, charming, and ambitious. He came from a wealthy family and was starting his own business. Bella had watched the way he looked at her sometimes when Rachel wasn't paying attention. She had even caught him staring at her legs once during dinner. Men are all the same, she thought. Weak. A plan formed in her mind like poison. 2 weeks before the wedding, Bella waited until Rachel was away shopping. She walked into Josh's office, pretending to be upset. "Josh, I don't know what to do anymore," she said, sitting across from him in his private workspace. He looked up from his laptop. "Bella, what's wrong?" She sniffed and played the role perfectly. Rachel, I think she's cheating on you. Josh's eyes widened. What? She won't tell you, but I saw her with another man. I tried to warn her, but she pushed me away. I just couldn't stay silent. Josh looked confused and hurt. But why would she? She doesn't deserve you, Bella whispered, reaching across the table and touching his hand. You're a good man. You deserve someone who really sees you. Her eyes locked with his. Her lips trembled ever so slightly. It didn't take long. That same evening, Bella showed up at Josh's apartment, pretending to check on him. By morning, she was still there, naked beneath the covers. She knew exactly what she was doing. The wedding day never came. Rachel found out just 3 days before the big day. She walked into her bedroom and found Bella laughing on the phone with Josh, wearing only a towel. The silence that followed was painful. Bella? Rachel said slowly, her voice trembling. Bella turned, her face pale for a split second. But then she smiled. Oh, you're home. Rachel looked from her to the phone. Are you sleeping with my fiancé? Josh appeared at the doorway behind her. His face said it all. Rachel dropped the flowers she was holding. How could you? Bella stood up, wrapped the towel around her body, and walked slowly toward Rachel. Sweetheart, she said coldly, life isn't fair. You had everything. I had nothing. I just took what you didn't appreciate. Rachel's eyes filled with tears. You lived in my house. My parents treated you like family. I treated you like a sister. Bella leaned in, her voice like ice. And now, I have your man. Your tears don't change that. Rachel slapped her. Bella didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled that cold smile again. The one she'd learned the day her mother died. Thanks for everything, Rachel. But I never came here to be your friend. I came here to win. By the end of the week, Bella moved out with Josh. But she never stayed with him long. Men like Josh were stepping stones, not destinations. She had bigger plans, and a colder heart. The next time Bella appeared, she had a new name, a new hairstyle, and a completely new personality. She changed her last name to Bell Carter and moved to Eastview, an upcoming neighborhood filled with dreamers, entrepreneurs, and quiet money. It was there she met Victor Blake. Victor was the kind of man most women ignored at first glance. He was tall but slim, always dressed in clean but simple clothes, and constantly buried in work. He was starting a small logistics company, delivering food and packages across the city. No luxury car, no designer watches, just hard work and quiet ambition. Bella spotted him first at a cafe. He was helping an old woman carry her groceries while his laptop sat unattended on his table. Too soft, Bella thought at first. But then she noticed his eyes, focused, tired, but full of determination. She sat at the table next to his, her movements calculated and graceful. When he returned, their eyes met. Is this seat taken? She asked with a warm, innocent smile. Victor blinked, startled by her beauty. No, please, go ahead. She laughed lightly. Actually, I was joking. I'm already seated. You're late. Victor chuckled, amused and confused. Do we know each other? Not yet, she said, reaching out her hand. I'm Belle. He took it slowly. Victor, nice to meet you. For the next few weeks, Bella showed up at the cafe every morning. Always perfectly dressed, never too flashy, just enough to catch attention. She asked him questions about his dreams, his business, his fears. I want to create something big, Victor told her one evening. Something that lasts. My parents died poor. I want my children to live better. Bella leaned in. That's so beautiful. I've never met someone with such pure intentions. She didn't mention that she once ruined her best friend's engagement or slept with a politician for a job. Instead, she painted herself as a woman trying to recover from heartbreak. My ex cheated, she told Victor. He said I wasn't enough. I gave him everything. Victor, already falling, took her hand. He was a fool. You're more than enough. Bella smiled. Perfect. Within 3 months, Victor and Bella were inseparable. She cooked for him, cleaned his apartment, gave him business advice, which she Googled and repackaged in her own words, and even helping design his company's logo. Victor's friends warned him. "Bro, you sure this girl is for real?" his best friend Kevin asked. "She's too perfect." Victor defended her every time. "She's been through a lot. I'm not letting her go." What he didn't know was that Bella was slowly bleeding him dry. She started small. "Babe, can I borrow your card? My nail appointment ran late." Then came, "Victor, I saw this dress that would be perfect for your company's launch. Can you help me buy it?" Next, "My friend is in trouble. I need to send her something urgently. Can you help? I'll pay you back." She never did, and Victor never complained, because he thought he had found the one. Months, the perfect proposal. He booked a rooftop dinner, hired a violinist, and got a silver ring with her name engraved. He didn't have much, but he gave everything. Bella arrived late, in a gold silk dress she made him buy. She stepped onto the rooftop and gasped, pretending to be surprised. "Victor, this is beautiful." He took her hand, dropped to one knee, and said the words he had been dreaming about for weeks. "Bella Carter, will you marry me?" The rooftop went quiet. Bella's smile faded for the first time in weeks. She looked around at the candles, the rose petals, the small crowd watching them from a distance. And in that moment, she felt nothing. No joy, no excitement, just disgust. She didn't want to marry him. Victor was too kind, too gentle, too small. He wasn't the next step in her plan. He was just another stepping stone, and he was starting to get too serious. She forced a smile and said, "Can we talk about this in private?" Later that night, Victor sat on the couch, still holding the ring box. Bella stood across from him, arms folded. "Victor, I need you to understand something," she said softly. "I care about you, but I'm not ready for marriage." He nodded slowly. "That's okay. We can wait. I just wanted you to know how I feel." She bit her lip. "No. I mean, I don't think I ever want that. With you." Victor looked up, shocked. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying we're not on the same path. You're sweet, but I need someone who can match my energy. Someone who can take me places." "But I'm trying," Victor said, his voice cracking. "I'm building something for us." "I didn't ask you to," Bella replied coldly. "Maybe you're building it for yourself. I just tag along." He stared at her in disbelief. "You used me." Bella didn't answer. She picked up her purse, walked to the door, then paused. "You gave me comfort, Victor, but comfort is not my dream." Then she left. The next day, social media exploded. A video surfaced online titled, "Why I Left My Boyfriend After His Proposal." It featured Bella, seated in a car with soft piano music playing in the background. Her face was calm, even sad. "I've stayed silent for too long," she began. "I was in a relationship where I was constantly gaslighted, manipulated, and made to feel small. People don't know the emotional abuse that hides behind smiles." She never mentioned Victor by name, but everyone knew who she was talking about. The comments poured in. "You're so strong, Queen. Men like him don't deserve you. Thank you for speaking up. I went through the same thing." Victor watched the video in silence. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. His inbox was full of hate. People canceled their delivery contracts. His small company took a hit. Friends started avoiding him. He called Bella. She didn't pick up. He sent her a message. "Why are you doing this to me?" She replied with 3 words, "Protecting my brand." Bella went viral. Talk shows invited her to speak. Brands offered her influencer deals. People called her brave. Victor, meanwhile, faded into the shadows, broke heartbroken, and branded an abuser by someone he once loved with all his heart. But Bella? She was just getting started. Bella was now known as a confident, elegant influencer. Her breakup video with Victor had made her a small celebrity. But that was not enough for her. She wanted real power. So when she heard about Logan Miles, a rising politician with a clean image and a beautiful wife, she saw opportunity. Logan was everything the media loved, handsome, articulate, a man of the people. But Bella saw through him. She watched his interviews, followed his wife's fashion blog, and attended events where he was scheduled to appear. One evening, at a political fundraiser, she made her move. She wore a red silk dress that hugged her body in all the right places. She didn't approach Logan directly. No, she let him see her from across the room. And when he finally walked over, the trap was already set. "Miss Carter, right?" he asked, extending his hand. She turned and smiled softly. "That depends. Are you the man with the $1 million smile I've seen on TV?" He laughed, clearly flattered. "I try." She tilted her head. "Well, I'm flattered you notice me." Logan looked her up and down, carefully. "You're hard to miss." Within a week, they were texting. Within 2, they were meeting privately. And by the 3rd week, they were in a hotel suite in East Canton. As Logan lay back on the bed, Bella stepped out of the bathroom in nothing but silk lingerie. But what he didn't know was that her phone, hidden in her purse, was recording everything. After their 3rd meeting, Bella went silent for 3 days. Then Logan received a message. "I think you dropped something last time. Or should I say, someone might drop it for you." Attached were 3 clear videos. Logan kissing her, undressing her, whispering promises. His hands began to shake. He called immediately. "Bella, what the hell is this?" "Relax, Logan," she said calmly. "I haven't posted anything yet." He paced his office. "You can't do this. I'm a married man. My career, my family. You should have thought about that." Bella interrupted. "But I'm not cruel. I'm willing to delete everything." "What do you want?" Her voice turned silky. "A small position. I hear your PR team is hiring. I'd be the perfect fit. I know how to handle the media, especially scandals." Logan was silent. "I don't want money, Logan. I want power." 2 weeks later, Bella was officially appointed as PR executive for Logan's campaign. People called her brilliant, strategic, a fresh voice. She gave interviews, shook hands with diplomats, and smiled for cameras like a seasoned pro. Nobody knew the truth. Well, almost nobody. Logan's wife, Megan, watched from the shadows. Her smile was fake, her eyes colder than ice. She knew, but she said nothing. For now, in another part of the city, Rachel Adams was watching Bella's rise, and her blood boiled with every new headline. She had lost her fiancé, her peace, and her dignity because of Bella, and she had stayed silent until now. Rachel contacted Victor, who was still recovering from Bella's betrayal. His business had almost collapsed, but his heart was still bleeding more than his wallet. "I want to take her down," Rachel said one night, sitting across from him. Victor looked up, hesitant. "You think people will believe us?" "She flipped the whole internet against me." "I have something better than stories," Rachel said, pulling out a flash drive. On it were voice recordings, photos, and screenshots from Bella's past. Private chats where Bella admitted to seducing Josh, photos of her in Josh's shirt, and even clips of her bragging to old friends about scamming Victor. Rachel created a fake Twitter account and posted the files anonymously with a caption, "Bella Carter, Queen of Scams or Queen of Lies?" Within hours, it went viral. This is the real Bella. She ruined her friend's life and made her ex look like a monster. Isn't this blackmail? Hashtag started trending. Hashtag cancel Bella. Hashtag justice for Victor. Hashtag Rachel was right. For the first time, Bella was on the back foot. Her inbox filled with hate. Brands began to pause partnerships. Logan's team panicked. "Bella, we need to discuss this situation," Logan told her during a tense meeting. "I've handled worse," she said, calm as ever. But inside, she was boiling. She knew it was Rachel, so she pulled her next card. 3 days later, Bella went live on Instagram. The background was soft. She wore no makeup, just a hoodie and tired eyes. "Hi, everyone," she began, voice trembling. "I've been quiet because I'm in shock. This week, my abuser's ex-fiancée, Rachel, decided to ruin my life again." She paused for effect. "I forgave her when she slapped me, when she called me names, but this is cyberbullying." Then came the tears, well-practiced and perfectly timed. She and Victor were both toxic. I left to protect myself. I never wanted to expose them, but now I have to defend myself. She shared edited versions of her chats, blurred photos, and even fake screenshots of Rachel threatening her. The internet exploded again. This time it was divided. Some still believed Rachel, but others were furious on Bella's behalf. This is just jealous women attacking another successful woman. Bella is strong. She's being punished for saying no to a man. Cancel culture is toxic. Bella did interviews, wrote an open letter, and even launched a mental health foundation for women overcoming online abuse. Her followers doubled. Brands came back. And Rachel? She was now being called bitter, jealous, and unstable. Victor tried to speak up again, but the damage was done. People didn't want the truth. They wanted the better story. And Bella knew how to tell one. As Bella stood in front of a crowd at a media summit a week later, giving a speech about turning pain into power, she spotted Rachel watching from the back, furious, defeated. Bella smiled that familiar, deadly smile. She had turned her scandal into a spotlight. And Rachel? Just another footnote. Bella was now a powerful name. Not just an influencer, but a woman seen on red carpets, quoted in magazines, and invited to high-level meetings. She walked through glass doors like they belonged to her. No scandal could keep her down until she met Daniel Pierce. Daniel was a mystery. A billionaire who never gave interviews. No photos. No social life. People only whispered his name in business meetings and private islands. He was feared, respected, untouchable. So when Bella got an invitation for his assistant to attend a private brunch at the Pierce estate, she thought it was a prank. She showed up anyway. The estate was massive. White marble, silver gates, guards everywhere. It looked like something out of a movie. She was led through a glass corridor to a quiet garden, where a man in a dark suit sat alone, sipping black tea. "Miss Carter," he said without looking up. "Thank you for coming." Bella narrowed her eyes. "You're Daniel." He finally looked at her. Cold eyes, sharp jaw, calm smile. "Yes," he replied. "Please, sit." Bella sat, crossing her legs slowly. "You don't show your face often." He nodded. "Because faces lie, actions don't." She smiled politely. "So, what action do you want from me, Mr. Pierce?" He looked straight into her eyes. "I want you to become the face of my new foundation." She blinked. "Excuse me?" "You're bold, controversial, and impossible to ignore," he continued. "I need someone like you. The media watches your every move." Bella raised an eyebrow. "Why me? I've been in scandals." "I like people with claws," he said simply. "They survive." She leaned back, intrigued. "What's the catch?" "No catch," he said, smiling faintly. "You'll have a team, power, global reach, and full creative control." Bella's heart jumped. This was what she had dreamed of. Total freedom, endless money, bigger fame. She extended her hand. "Then let's work together." Daniel shook it firmly. "Welcome to my world, Bella." The next day, she was flown first class to Paris for her first press appearance under the Pierce Legacy Project. Interviews, magazine covers, private meetings with CEOs. Bella felt unstoppable. But something didn't feel right. Daniel never smiled, never laughed. He watched her like a scientist observing an experiment. One night, after a gala, she turned to him in the car. "Why did you choose me, really?" He looked at her, calm as always. "Because you remind me of someone I destroyed a long time ago." She laughed lightly. "Is that supposed to scare me?" "No," Daniel said quietly. "It's supposed to warn you." Bella's empire grew fast. She had a penthouse in London, an office in New York, and a face recognized in 5 countries. Her followers hit 10 million. Her team grew, but her control started slipping. One morning, her assistant walked in with panic on her face. "Bella, we have a problem." Bella didn't look up from her laptop. "What now?" Someone leaked the real breakup video with Victor. The unedited one. The version you deleted. Bella's head shot up. "What?" "It's everywhere. People are comparing it with your fake one." Bella opened her phone. There it was. The truth. Her manipulation. Her cold rejection. Her lies. Comments poured in. She lied about abuse. This is evil. She used a good man and made him the villain. Bella's hands trembled. She called her PR manager. Get this video down. We're trying, her manager said, but it's spreading like wildfire. Reddit, TikTok, even blogs are picking it up. She called Daniel. Daniel, I need help. Someone's trying to destroy me. There was silence on the line. Then his voice, cold as ever. Maybe they're just giving you what you gave others. Bella froze. What? I warned you, he said calmly. Faces lie, but I've been watching your actions. You knew, she whispered. I know everything, Bella, Daniel replied. I knew about Rachel, about Logan, about the blackmail, the lies, the money you stole from Victor's startup, every single game you played. Her mouth went dry. Why didn't you stop me? Because, he said, I needed to see how far you'd go. And now I know. Bella stood up from her chair, shaking. What do you want from me? To watch, Daniel said. To see if the queen of the game can survive when the board starts collapsing. The call ended. Bella looked out her window. For the first time in years, she felt small. That week, more secrets came out. Emails exposing her bribes. Leaked texts from Logan's wife, Megan, hinting at blackmail. Photos of Bella leaving secret hotel rooms. Her sponsors dropped her. Talk shows canceled her appearances. People who once praised her vanished. And Daniel? He promoted a new face for the foundation. A quiet, humble girl named Grace Monroe. Bella called his number again and again. No answer. Finally, she sent a message. You used me. Daniel replied, No, Bella. I gave you the rope. You chose how. Bella had always been in control. She was the one pulling the strings, turning pain into power and making people dance to her tune. But now, the music had stopped, and the silence was loud. It began with a headline. Bella Carter exposed, blackmail, fraud, and betrayal behind the fame. Within minutes, it was everywhere. News stations, gossip blogs, morning talk shows. Videos were compiled showing her manipulation of Victor, the blackmail of Logan, and even audio clips of her bragging about using men like stepping stones. Her fall wasn't slow. It was instant. She woke up to over 600 missed calls and 1,200 messages. Brands cut ties. Her lawyer sent a cold message. Due to the nature of your public image, we can no longer represent you. Her assistant texted, I'm sorry, Bella. I can't do this anymore. I quit. Even her Instagram, once her kingdom, became a battlefield of hate. Rot in jail. You ruined lives. Now it's your turn. Bella slammed her phone against the wall. Her once stunning penthouse now felt like a prison. Then came the worst blow. She received an email from her bank. Your accounts have been temporarily frozen due to ongoing investigations. Bella's breath caught. No, she muttered, pacing. She called Logan. No answer. She texted Josh. Blocked. She tried to reach Daniel. Silence. Bella stood in the center of her luxury apartment, surrounded by designer clothes, expensive shoes, and gold-plated decorations. But none of it mattered anymore, because now, nobody was answering her. 2 days later, the electricity was cut off. She lit candles and sat in the dark, her face pale and worn. Her long eyelashes now clumped together. Her eyes had dark circles. Her skin had lost its glow. Stress was eating her alive. She opened her makeup bag, but her hands were shaking too much to even hold the brush. Her reflection looked back at her with hollow eyes. Once the world saw her as a goddess. Now, even she couldn't recognize herself. That evening, she received one final package. No name, no return address. Inside was a mirror with one word carved into it. Grace. Bella stared at it for a long time. Grace. The one thing she never had. The one thing she destroyed in others. And now it was mocking her. She threw the mirror across the room. It didn't break. Just like her past, it stayed whole, watching her. A month passed. Bella's penthouse had been seized. The luxury cars were towed away. She was living in a tiny one-room apartment in the outskirts of the city, surrounded by cracked walls and broken dreams. She wore a plain black hoodie and sweatpants. Her nails were chipped. Her hair was unkempt. She looked nothing like the woman the world once worshipped. Each day, she sat in front of an old mirror, not to admire, but to remember. She could see them. Rachel, crying on the floor in a torn wedding dress. Victor, holding a ring he never got a place on her finger. Logan, hiding in shame as headlines ruined his family. Megan, silent and strong, watching her husband fall. Daniel, cold and calculated, waiting for her to fall apart. And then her mother, the gentle eyes, the worn hands, the fragile voice. Kindness is not weakness. Bella, tears welled in her eyes. The first tears in years. She tried to wipe them away, but they kept coming. She stared at herself. The woman in the mirror no longer smiled. No makeup, no lies, just scars and silence. She whispered, "What have I become?" There was no answer, just the creak of the wind outside. One night, she walked through the market with only a few coins in her pocket. People stared, some whispered. One man even spat at her feet. She kept walking. For the first time in her life, she didn't fight back. She felt shame, real shame. A little girl walked past with her mother, holding a flower. She smiled at Bella, pure, innocent. Bella tried to smile back, but her lips couldn't move. She was empty. That night, she returned to her small room. She sat in front of the mirror again, her final mirror. She pulled out an old journal. It was her mother's. She had kept it hidden for years. The first page read, "If you lose your soul chasing the world, what will you have when the world is gone?" Bella closed the book, her hand shaking. She stared into the mirror. The woman inside looked broken, but something else was there too. A flicker, not light, not hope, just awareness. Bella finally whispered, "I feel it now. Everything. The pain, the guilt, the damage I caused." She looked around her, alone, forgotten, abandoned, and for once, she didn't try to run from it. The next morning, she stood outside a small church, not to pray. She wasn't sure if God would even listen, but she sat on the stairs and watched people go in, smiling, holding hands, laughing. For them, life was still warm. And maybe, just maybe, there was still something left for her. Not fame, not power, just grace.